What's up guys, this is Miasin and welcome to the OCG Metagame Breakdown number 7. As you can currently tell by my face, I'm extremely excited to bring you guys another breakdown video on this format because I love this format so much. Every single deck is just so fun, so enjoyable. Very enjoyable to play against, especially because what's more fun than not having fun, right? I just love getting max seed 5 times and then not playing the game and then my opponent OTKs me with one single card. That is peak Yugi Mons. It's been the exact same thing for so long, I don't even want to think about it. New set, Rage of the Abyss, look at that. Tenpai Dragon, pretty much tied with Snake Eye. And then after that, look at this. Tenpai Dragon, a little better than Snake Eye, and now, oh, yeah, okay, Snake Eye, Tenpai Dragon, not too much of a difference. It's the same freaking shit every single time. Anyways, before we go any further, you already know the drill, smash the like, subscribe button, blah, 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 blah. Alright, cool, so, Snake Eye, 50 out of 161, nobody cares. Tenpai Dragon, nobody cares about that deck. Even though I think Tenpai Dragon is a very good long-term investment, unfortunately, just because this deck, you either kill it or you don't touch it at all. What are they gonna do, limit the field spell? That changes nothing. The deck is probably the best deck if they do that, because at the current moment, Tenpai Dragon with one field spell, right, one field spell, is good enough to compete with pretty much full power Snake Eye and full power Yubel, and it's still the top deck. So if the deck gets more support in Rage of the Abyss, which will be the case in the form of Dominus Impulse, very good hand shop, do you really think that limiting the field spell is gonna make the deck any worse? Hell nah, y'all are stupid sometimes. We're gonna have to limit multiple cards for this deck to be not even unplayable, but just slightly worse. Because again, when you can play like 5 field spells, it doesn't matter. Centurion, third best deck without King Calamity. I do have a deck list for you guys, so stay tuned and watch this video until the very end. Very important. Anyways, Voice is Voice for the fourth best deck. This is very interesting because on the last breakdown, Voice is Voice was, there you go, yeah, in the top 10, but it wasn't, you know, that good. But to be fair, there's such a huge gap between Tenpai and Voice's Voice and everything. Okay, Yubel, okay, that's tied with Voice's Voice. I don't really care too much. Memento, this, I also have a deck list for you. Rescue Ace. Most builds are playing with the Azamina cards, but this deck is probably gonna suffer collateral damage from Snake Eye getting hit, whether it's in the OCG or in the TCG. I don't think Flamberge banning that card makes any sense. I think original Sinfos Snake Eye is much better to hit because it also keeps the Azamina engine in check. And this engine is just, it's dumb. It's not supposed to be a deck by itself. It's just supposed to be an engine in decks that are already good. So it's either garbage or it's unfair. That's what I hate about these cards. Very terrible card design. Anyways, Runic Stun, by the way, with only 1 skill drain, but they have some other fun alternatives. And by fun, I mean not fun. Melodious Supreme King, this deck looks unplayable, but they have Electrum, so I guess it is. Fiendsmith Unchained, yeah, okay, cool deck, but again, nobody cares because Yubel is just much better. Whoa, look at this. I can make Caesar and Unchained Soul of Rage. Guess what? They can do the same, but also have a Varudas and a Phantom of Yubel. Or FTK. Yeah, shout outs to Carlos. So yeah, Fiendsmith Unchained, nah. Okay, Gimmick Puppet. Yeah, okay, they still have the FTK. It's a good deck. Lawn Mowing Despia. Again, nobody cares. Labyrinth. Primordial Ragnarika, Sanavalon Rika. I'm really shocked to see 2 humans on Earth that aren't the same person play that deck and have success with that deck. I'm completely confused. But yeah, I can understand the synergy and the synergy, no shit. The Primordial cards can special summon your Sunseed from the deck, and then the quick play spell that summons also has a really good graveyard effect. Not really, unless your opponent normal summons a monster with 0 attack. Maybe I'm missing something, I don't know, but yeah, no, it's a cool engine. And the Ragnarika, they're not like insane, but they're not garbage if you play them with Rika. And Sun Avalon, obviously, so yeah, it's cool. Ritual Beast, yeah, it doesn't lose too hard to the new Molchemi monster, but it loses really hard to the old one. I think it still loses a little bit to the new one, Molchemi Foros. But you can still make the ulti Kanahawk and then search and then tag out and then pass. Yeah, it's not garbage. Fire King. Yes, okay, with a bunch of other engines. Snake Eye and Azamina. Dragon Link, yes, okay. Is that deck full power in the OCG? I completely forgot. I'm pretty sure I have a deck list for Dragon Link as well. So yeah, stay tuned. Magical Musketeer. Fiendsmith Stride is actually quite interesting. Fiendsmith Valmonica, that makes sense because the Valmonicas are like fiends. Flunderies, you can burn in hell, my friend. Yes, whatever this is. Meta Beat, that's like Fossil Dyna Beatdown. It makes, yeah, a little bit of sense, but it's garbage. Whatever. Oh, Phantasmal Spiral. That's actually a pretty good deck. and then Salamangreat and Tachyon, which is absolute bullshit. It's not the Galaxy Eyes deck. Okay, so Snake Eye, what is interesting about this deck? Nothing at all. But one thing that is noteworthy is that the Azamina engine makes it so that you now lose very hard to Retelling Sea on your spells that special summon. So when you go for your Sacred Azamina and your opponent chains Retelling Sea, then what's going to happen is that you're not going to be sending your Sinful Postcard to the grave. You're going to be banishing it instead. And since you haven't sent anything to the grave successfully, it's not going to special summon your fusion from the extra deck. So in other words, Retelling Sea is not only a Cyframe Delta for these kinds of cards, but also a Dark Law. It's extremely good. And it's not like people are really main decking Retelling Sea for Crossout either. It is probably the MVP of the current format. And I think you've noticed it by now, but the trend of trying to beat Molchami Foraros with main decking Floodgate monsters, well, Floodgate trap cards, is now extending itself to also playing Floodgate monsters such as Majesty's Fiend, which is a light Fiend monster, which is searchable by Tract, which is searchable by the Fiendsmith monster, Fiendsmith Engraver. I can't say the Fiendsmith monster anymore because there's now another one. So now we got two Fiendsmiths, very interesting, well, two different ones. In the main deck, at least in the extra deck, we got 4 different monsters, 2 fusions, 2 links. But yeah, no, it's cool. No, actually, no, 3 links now. We got a Link 3 monster. Oh yeah, that's insane. Yeah, but the new support doesn't really change that much. Like this Scarlet something, it's pretty much the equivalent of our Necroquip Princess and Constellar Ptolemy M7 combo. So yeah, they basically do the same thing as we currently can in the TCG, but with 1 extra brick in the main deck. Nothing else that's really worth covering other than Power Sync Stone, so this card is a very good alternative to Skill Drain in case it gets banned. Play 3 Power Sync Stone, the card is not too bad, and you can obviously shut it down at any moment if you are playing the Snake Eyes deck. And it's relatively one-sided if you can abuse it, because it only counts monster effects that resolve even if they resolve with no effect, as long as they don't get their activation negated. For example, if your opponent goes like normal summon Snake Eye Ash and then you go like Effect Veiler or Ash or something, whatever, then there's already 2 Power Sync counters on the card. From here on out, neither player can activate monster effects on the field, and monster effects on the field are negated. So yeah, it's a really cool card. Apart from that, nothing much to cover. I mean, yeah, Archfiend Eccentric, that's cool, but nobody cares. Sphere Mode, one of Unsearchable, why? I understand the Archfiend Eccentric and the Nibiru, just because you can cross out the Nibiru, and Archfiend Eccentric you can search it with Tractus, but what the hell is Sphere Mode doing here? I have no idea. Okay, Tenpai Dragon, so yeah, what people are doing now is that they're main decking Red Reboot. Yeah, okay. The biggest innovation that I've seen in Tenpai Dragon recently, but apart from that, I'm pretty sure, I'm just looking at this, confident that there's exactly 24 non-engine cards in the deck, just because it's the exact same number every single time. So, you want to play this game with me? Go for it. So, 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, 19, and then 22, 23, and if we count the driver, that's gonna be 24. If my maths are correct. Yes, it's the exact same thing every single time. I'm absolutely not getting tired of this. It's not repetitive. It's just very enjoyable, very fun. Okay, so honestly, watching these 2 decks just makes me want to vomit, so I'm gonna go over these decks instead. This is Centurion. I wish I could say that this was interesting, but there's no King Calamity, so I guess that's the most spicy thing about this deck, but it's also not that I care, because they have Crimson Dragon into Cosmic Blazar. Very good card against Tenpai Dragon, because it can also cancel out the battle phase. It's overall pretty nice. And then, yeah, everything else, whatever. Oh, the new Centurion level 8 Synchro Monster, not too bad. Oh yeah, that's true. It's a new support from Rage of the Abyss. It does matter. Memento. Okay, there's a new Memento level 5 monster. I don't know how good this is. And nobody's playing the counter, the continuous trap that negates up to 5 times by reducing the attack and defense of your boss monster anymore. Instead of that, they're main decking Fracture Dance, or they're just not playing the trap whatsoever. And then they're citing the Fracture Dance or the other continuous trap card. I do find it interesting because without the Tekutlika, the deck just doesn't feel like it's that oppressive, but maybe I'm missing something, because the deck is still very good at pumping out a lot of bodies. But it loses very, very hard to the Molchamis. Well, I mean, it loses really hard to Porolia. Foraros a little less, but this deck is not ideal. It has a lot of flaws, honestly. A Ritual Beast, okay, so I mean, no, it does have some flaws, but it's a consistent deck, and it's good in the right hands. Ritual Beast loses really hard to Porolia, but like I said, nobody's really playing that one. People are playing Foros instead. And yeah, this deck is very nasty. It's a shifter deck. And then this is Dragon Link, which is another one of those decks that I don't really want to cover because it's so much different in there than it is in the TCG. Every single Bestial other than Saronir is at 1, so even if they want to play multiple copies of Lubellion, they cannot. And then they also have double of the baby dragons, and they have 3 chaos space. So I guess you can say the deck is a little better over there, but at the same time, the Bestial Engine is a little worse. Very interesting to see 2 Dragons Ravine, by the way. I'm very confused. And also, they still have Borlord Savage and Baron de Fleur. Another thing that I mentioned, that I forgot to mention. Apart from that, everything is the same. Oh, wow, Baguska, what the... If you use Rocket Tracer, you're locked under Dark, so my counter to Shifter would be Evil Storm Excite on Knight. Interesting, but I guess Excite on Knight does absolutely nothing against Stand by Dragon. I don't know how good this deck is into Furos. Maybe it's good because you just make Hieratic Steel Pass, but I don't know, even then, it doesn't look like that insane. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This was absolutely disgusting to look at and also film, so I really hope that you guys were able to enjoy, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.